Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. My name is Ronke Kolawole. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has arrived Katsina and Route Daura to attend the grand finale of the APC senatorial rally ahead of the by-election slated for Saturday. Bashir Bala has that report.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo arrived at the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua International Airport at about 11:55 a.m. Thursday morning and was received by the State Governor Aminu Bello Masari and the Speaker of the State House of Assembly Abubakar Yahaya Kusada. The Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje was also on Osinbajo's plane. Those at the airport to welcome the acting president were Senator Umar Krupi, Secretary to the Federal Government Boss Mustapha, Senator Abu Ibrahim and Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika. The acting president, alongside Katsina and Kano State governors and the Minister of Aviation, boarded a helicopter en route to Daura. In Katsina, Bashir Bala, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Cross River State has concluded plans for by-election to fill the vacant seat of Obudu constituency on Saturday, August 11, 2018. The by-election is necessitated by the demise of the member representing Obudu constituency in the State House of Assembly. Maureen Leo Ajom has the details.
Resident Electoral Commissioner Dr. Franklin Briai, who was speaking at the Stakeholders Forum for the by-election, said the decision to conduct a by-election to fill the vacant position is in line with relevant provisions of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Electoral Act 2010 as amended.
The Constitution and the Electoral Act requires that we conduct a by-election. And the State House of Assembly has written to our National Commissioner officially. We have also been instructed to conduct the by-elections on the 11th of August 2018.
Stakeholders at the forum called for increased voter education and stressed the need for stakeholders and politicians to play by the rule.
And for us all as stakeholders to do our very best to ensure that it is a resounding success.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has accordingly released a timetable for the election, including primaries. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
In the meantime, the remaining APC lawmaker representing Ojomu Balogun constituency of Ofa in Kwara State House of Assembly, Said Popola and Ofa people have reaffirmed their commitment to the All Progressives Congress APC under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. Deborah Agbola reports.
Only standing APC lawmaker in Kwara State, Said Popola, representing Ojomu Balogun constituency in Ofa, Kwara State, was accorded rousing welcome in appreciation of his boldness and determination to do the will of our people. Said Popola commended President Muhammadu Buhari's effort at restoring value back to Nigeria through its progressive, anti-corruption and purposeful leadership. According to him, parents are ready for all-round development through APC.
Yes. And as you remain APC, as you see the entire offer, there is no single person that will do PDP in offer. Yes. The entire offer is APC. They are for Muhammadu Buhari, they are for Aisha Jubala Ahmed Tinubu, they are for Lai Mohammed, they are for Aregbesola, and they are for Said Popola, and Adams Oshiomole. They are for APC.
Some spokespersons at the rally reiterated their support for the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration and cooperation for Said Popola.
This is democracy at work. When you see a contestant or politician that is being welcomed in this manner, it goes to show that he is loved by his people.
Deborah Agbola, NTA News.
Also talking about this, our next story, which says an amalgam of 300 Buhari support groups have endorsed former national chairman of People's Democratic Party, Alimadu Sheriff, as national chairman of the presidential support groups for Buhari's re-election. This was at the group's meeting held in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Spokesperson of the group and former clerk of the National Assembly, Salisu Meikaswa, says the collapse of the various support groups was towards the attainment of strong synergy as the group embarks on grassroots sensitization and mobilization of Nigerians on the need to re-elect President Muhammadu Buhari. The present administration, he adds, has done well in the delivery of its core campaign promises to the people, reminding Nigerians that the country might have not got into where it should be, but certainly not at where it was prior to the coming of the APC-led administration. The meeting ended with a 7-point communique, which include, among others, appointments of states and local government executives of the group.
It was also resolved that the post of the Director General has been renamed the National Chairman accordingly. Accordingly, also, Senator Alimadu Sheriff is now the national chairman of the group.
Other speakers note that the group's proposed grassroots sensitization and mobilization will take members around the 774 local government areas of the country. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019 is crucial towards the sustenance of the development strides of the APC-led administration in the country. National Coordinator of Grassroots Mobilization for APC Buhari Osinbajo nationwide, Mohammed Lawal, said this at a courtesy visit on the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed in Abuja. Ahmed Ondas Ahmed now reports.
Of the group are drawn from the 6 geopolitical zones of the country are grassroots politicians determined to publicize the giant strides of President Muhammadu Buhari. Leader of the group, Mohammed Lawal, says the partnership between the NGO and Africa's largest television network, the NTA, is to showcase the man Muhammadu Buhari to the Nigerian populace based on his track record of achievement and integrity.
We believe that continuity in administration enhances sustainable development. With the good work he has been doing now, we see that this 3 years will not be enough. We want him to continue.
If people have been reporting, giving fair treatment to all political parties and all individuals, I must congratulate you for that.
Director General of NTA, Yakub Ibn Mohammed, noted that there is need for politicians to play the game according to the rules in order to have free and fair elections in 2019.
At NTA, we are non-partisan. We do what is right. We know what is right. We look for the truth, and we let the world know what the truth is.
Ahmed Ondas Ahmed, NTA News.
Increased mobilization and enlightenment of political actors are key to enhancing youth participation in politics. This is among other key issues highlighted at the Forum for Political Parties and Young Aspirants held in Abuja. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi now reports.
In strength and number, the youth, who constitute over 70% of Nigeria's population, has the opportunity to shape the country's political landscape. The ineffectiveness of this large number of the population in terms of politics will be corrected with forums such as these, which is taking advantage of the platform the present administration is giving to the youth. Participants have identified key issues of interest in moving forward to include mentoring, increased quota for positions, as well as implementing policies specifically for persons with disabilities.
We've visited between 15 and 20 political parties in Abuja physically on advocacy on these issues. And then some of them have given us feedback, and some of them have made commitment to areas they want to make change, they want to make reforms and all of that. So we're hoping that with this meeting today, there will be greater consensus.
You can now imagine a situation whereby a very small percentage is determining the fate of a very larger proportion. It's strong. It's strong, and it's because the Nigerian youth have not been forthcoming.
The forum has agreed to sustain the quest for synergy among key political players in view of their strategic importance in enhancing and sustaining good governance in the country. In Abuja,
Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And still talking politics, stakeholders in the All Progressives Congress APC say the defection of the immediate past Senate Minority Leader, Senator Akpabio, signals a new dawn in the party. They spoke to NTA News during the formal defection of Senator Akpabio at the Ikorepenes Township Stadium. Umo Etimodo completes the story.
The event to formally receive Senator Akpabio into the APC family. Stakeholders say he has come to ice their cake of victory. Representative of the acting president, Boss Mustafa, national chairman of the APC, Comrade Adams Oshomole, and a chieftain of the party, Bola Tinubu, say Akpabio is a transformational leader whose defection is uncommon. His colleagues in the Senate described Akpabio's defection to the APC as patriotic and a major milestone for the party.
One Akpabio is equivalent to whether 15 or 30 members that left. Wow. So you see the equation? Yeah. It has balanced.
To get this big fish into APC family is a wonderful thing that is about to happen to the people of Akwa Ibom.
The unity of us at the National Assembly have given this effort or this concern for all of us work together for the interest of Nigeria.
One lesson that he's joining us with tell Nigerians who are in politics is that don't take an extreme position in anything as far as the Federal Republic of Nigeria is concerned.
Senator Akpabio said his decision to join the party is based on his inclination to a peaceful and prosperous Nigeria. Senator Akpabio led other defectors to the APC and was received by the party hierarchy in a colorful presentation. In Ikorekbene, Imo Etimodo, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on the NTA. We now link up with Hingino in Lagos for more reports. Hingino, it's over to you now.
Thank you, Ronke, and welcome to Lagos. The abrupt decision of the National Assembly to embark on its annual vacation has been trailed by a lot of controversy. There have been calls that the legislators reconvene. Annie Daniels got the opinions of a cross-section of Nigerians in Lagos.
The last has not been heard of happenings at the National Assembly with all that transpired. All these are the fallouts of the controversial developments that climaxed in the decision of the legislature to embark on its annual vacation. In the last week, there have been calls for the Assembly to reconvene to attend to urgent matters of the state. The presidency, represented by the senior special advisor to the president on National Assembly matters, Ita Inang, pointed to the supplementary budget and environments for the 2019 elections that need immediate attention. Senate leader Ahmed Lawan added his voice to the calls to reconvene the National Assembly. So, what do ordinary Nigerians think?
Asked to reconvene, I believe, is part of their duties.
They should reconvene for the benefit of all Nigerians. Nobody should be selfish about anything at all. Let them just put whatever their pride is, let them put it down, and then get to the assembly and do the work.
Whatever that will better the lot of Nigerians should be their priority, not their own personal interests. We have a lot of issue pending that they are supposed to legislate on. They left it, went on recess for 2 months. It doesn't speak well for the country.
The National Assembly have to reconvene at their own time.
If they reconvene by September, they should be able to meet up before getting the necessary things for the preparation of the elections.
While the Constitution provides for the independence of each arm of government, the presumption is that they would work together for the safety and well-being of the country. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
The rising cases of cancer amongst Nigerians calls for concern, with over 8.8 million cancer deaths recorded globally, out of which an estimated 80,000 persons are Nigerians. It is against this background that some youths put together a lecture tagged Youth Against Cancer in Lagos. Chidima Okwonu reports that the forum was to draw attention to the dangers and preventive measures against cancer.
Cancer is the uncontrollable growth of abnormal cells anywhere in the body, and about 8.8 million new cases occur globally yearly. Most common types are breast, prostate, leukemia, and colon cancer. 30-year-old Abumchukwu Ezeolu is a National Youth Corps member who says he survived stage 4 of colon cancer.
And my system is strong, working, normal. Please, I need everybody, young people, if you have had the experience, please don't hide yourself, come out. And please, if you're having any symptom of cancer, please better go to hospital and check yourself.
Abumchukwu said after 3 years of battling with the disease, he decided to create a platform to give hope to other cancer patients, as well as increase awareness about the disease, particularly among Youth Corps members.
How to go about the whole testing, putting your hand behind your head and raising your hand, standing sideways, checking for sores under your breast and checking your nipples if they are inverted, and checking for rashes too.
Causes, prevention, controls and ways which you can resist them.
The resource person at the event spoke on symptoms and preventive measures.
When one comes in early, you achieve better outcome. So chemotherapy, when it's given early stage, it can achieve cure.
Literally, thousands of people have walked this path ignorantly, but this awareness lecture will encourage young Nigerians about cancer.
The Federal Operations Unit Zone A of the Nigeria Customs Service intercepted contraband goods worth 2 billion naira. Controller of the unit, Controller Uba Mohammed, says the seizures were made between July 25 and August 7 this year in Lagos. Paul Omukagu has details.
The seized items include 17 unregistered vehicles and 9 others used for smuggling. Other items are 1,380 bags of rice, 1,610 kilograms of cannabis, 49 cartons of tramadol, and 2,748 cartons of codeine. Also seized are 1,031 kilograms of pangolin scales, 29.3 kilograms of elephant tusk, both of which are globally prohibited export items, and 140 jerrycans of vegetable oil, as well as used bags and shoes. Controller of Federal Operations Unit Zone A says the Nigerian Customs is determined to frustrate the illicit activities of smugglers and other economic saboteurs.
People use another vehicle that is not registered, they carry another number and go and put it. And when you subject them to scrutiny, you find that in the go to the license office, that vehicle number belongs to another vehicle. So the person must have ill intention to commit atrocity, because every time they are being warned and they are being watched. So desist, engage in productive activities.
The controller appealed to community leaders around border towns to cooperate with security agencies in tackling the menace of smuggling. In Lagos, Paul Omukagu, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos. It's back to you, Ronke, for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Hingino. And talking security now, the Department of State Services, DSS, is embarking on accelerated review of detention cases and perceived abuse of human rights to restore public confidence and enhance national security. Acting Director General of the service, Matthew Seyefa, said this at a press conference in Abuja. He said the services will not be intimidated to become sectional or biased in the discharge of its role in promoting national unity. He assured Nigerians the readiness of the service to partner with the media and other security agencies to carry out its mandate within the ambit of the law in line with global best practices. Meanwhile, the recent siege at the National Assembly by operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, has been described as a national and international embarrassment. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria today expressed the hope that the decisive action taken by Acting President Yemi Osinbajo will bring an end to impunity in the nation's security apparatus. Dennis Ademuloye reports.
The guests did not mince their words regarding Tuesday's events at the National Assembly.
I was personally embarrassed about that situation that was created. Bearing in mind that, first of all, the government has been appealing to the Senate that adjourned till September 25th. And you know how critical that election, 2019 election, is to Nigeria. And they were asked to come for this environment.
It was a huge embarrassment. But the good thing about it is that the way the acting president reacted promptly, I commend him for that. How I wish we've been addressing all other issues in the past the way he did yesterday. Because one of our biggest problems in this country is the absence of deterrence, which keeps on fueling impunity in this country.
The relevance of the phrase orders from above did not sit well with the guests who expressed concern at its frequent use as a way of diverting responsibility.
Who gave the DGSSS order to go and carry out that kind of action is another issue to be investigated.
We need to put an end to this expression of orders from above. Former DGSS will tell us where he got his orders from. Because the way the acting president reacted clearly shows that he was not aware of this directive and was not happy with it.
It may be recalled that a similar incident occurred in 2014 at the National Assembly, and security risk management expert Kabir Adamu wondered why steps had not been taken to prevent a recurrence.
How do you ensure deterrence? If you do an investigation and you find out who is guilty of perhaps abusing a certain section of the law, you take punitive measures against that individual or that organization, as the case may be. So it happened in 2014. Nobody was punished. And then, of course, unfortunately, we're seeing a repetition in 2018. So going forward, I'm hoping that perhaps an investigation will be conducted, and then the individuals as well as the organizations that are responsible would be punished.
The National Security Agencies Act of 1986, they believe, is obsolete, and the National Assembly itself needs to look into its repeal or amendment to reflect the nation's current democratic setup. A greater synergy between security agencies, they say, must also be a priority, so as to curb the threat of interagency rivalries and promote professionalism on the part of security operatives. Dennis at Degunloye, NTA News.
This is Nationwide. We now go on commercial break to be back with more reports shortly.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
For years, the NTA has been promoting science, technology, arts and crafts under the tagged name National Children's Expo. We are set with another edition as we gather children around Nigeria. Junior category ages 6 to 12 and senior category ages 13 to 18. The theme for Expo 2018, achieving self-sufficiency in agriculture, meeting the challenges of security and exposition of alternative energy as pathways to national development. Date, October 21st to 25th, 2018. Venue, NTA Headquarters Arena, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. We are set to celebrate the best of innovation across the country. For more information, please call the following numbers. NTA ETV, promoting learning.
Nigeria is seeing a large number of people accessing mental health care now.
One of the most common mental health disorders with
1 in 4 will develop depression at some point in time in their lifetime.
I've been there, and this is something I am extremely passionate about. I wouldn't want to see other women go through it in silence.
Touching lives.
INEC embarks on voter sensitization in campuses. Suleiman is standing by in Kaduna with details. Hello, it's over to you, Suleiman.
Much Ronke, and a warm welcome to Kubu has challenged Nigerian youths to register campus outreach held at the Bayero University, Kano. Mohammed Rabiu Ali has the details.
With Nigeria's population of about 200 million, youth participation in the electoral process has been a major concern despite huge percentage they constitute. To address this challenge, the Independent National Electoral Commission, together with the European Center for Electoral Support, stormed Bayero University, Kano, to sensitize students on the importance of acquiring voters' card and the right to vote.
You have the right to shape the future of the country in a very qualitative way, still being used as touts for these elections.
But what comes with the opportunity to vote is to grasp that opportunity to capture that investment. And I think we have, with that opportunity to vote, to bring about the change you want to see.
Do vote, get registered, get your PVC as soon as you can.
Pro-Chancellor of Bayero University, Kano, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, who was overwhelmed with student turnout, urged them to engage in politics to bring about positive change that Nigerians are yearning for, but that cannot be realized without having PVC.
Do not be used or misused by people who do not mean well for this country, who is only there or want to be there for their own power and for their own interests.
Representative of student union government pledged to carry on with the campaign within and outside the campus. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Nigeria is inching closer to the total eradication of the poliomyelitis virus. This is in view of the successes recorded in the combined efforts of the federal government and traditional rulers towards sustaining routine immunization. Abdullahi Mohammed was at a review meeting of the traditional rulers and the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency held in Kaduna.
A detection of the wild polio virus in northern Nigeria in 2016 plunged the country back into the list of few places where polio virus exists after it was declared free of the virus. Since then, however, Nigeria has developed various strategies to ensure sustained immunization with a view to eradicating the virus. The involvement of traditional rulers in driving the process remains critical. So far, the country is counting about 24 months without a case on record, thanks to the influence of the traditional rulers.
We will continue with the traditional way we have been doing, and we want to strengthen it and then make sure that we reach the final destination.
The Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, said with the renewed commitment of the federal government and donor agencies, it is only a matter of months that the country will be certified free of the virus.
And if this persists for the next 12 months, then we'll have a situation where the World Health Organization will look at all the information that is available, all the data that is available, and then begin to consider Nigeria as having eradicated poliomyelitis once and for all.
The meeting holds every quarter to monitor progress in the fight against poliomyelitis in Nigeria. In Kaduna, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
And that is the size of our contribution from Kaduna Network Center. It's back to you, Ronke, for more on the nationwide.
Thank you, Suleiman. There are calls on Nigerians to pursue the path of patriotism and uphold national interest in checkmating issues of insecurity and other criminalities. This is the standpoint of guests on NTA Current Affairs program, Moment for Thought. They stress the need for people to learn from history in building a strong nation.
The problem in Rwanda was solely between the haves and the have-nots. If you have cattle, automatically you are an enemy of the other side.
We talk more on things that divide us than things that put us together.
The program comes up tonight at 11:30 on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Nigerians have been urged to ensure that youths are raised to become better citizens with the fear of God in order to have a trouble-free society. This was at this year's International Youth Conference, organized by the Holiness Revival Movement as contribution to the development of youths, irrespective of religion and tribe. Ifeanyi Izumba has the details of that report.
The theme of the International Youth Conference of Holiness Revival Movement is salvation, deliverance and success. The organizer, Pastor Rika Paul, wants Christians to be trailblazers, whether in business, public service or politics.
God is saying, train him up, teach him the way. As he grows up, you will apply to it. And in his old age, he will be directed by it.
Some of the participants share their thoughts.
Again, that everything you achieve, both in your success, your career, everything, you get it through the holiness and righteousness of God.
I see Oromo as the last act God has sent to save humanity.
It's a program that one cannot forget. It's registered in the mind because it is heart-touching, life-changing, and there is more impartation to the life of the youth.
The 2018 Revival Movement International Youth Conference is aimed at training a new body of youths that will live right and follow the path of righteousness. Ifeanyi Izumba, NTA News.
In other news, the need to safeguard the integrity of the federal government whistleblower policy, as well as strengthen the protection of whistleblowers, has again been advocated. This was at the public presentation of a report on 1 year of implementing the Whistleblowing Corruption Anonymous project by African Center for Media and Information Literacy in Abuja. Chukunonzo Nwabwese was there.
The Whistleblower Policy, an anti-corruption initiative of Nigerian government, though still evolving, available data reveals is gradually yielding the needed results. The report, titled Engaging Whistleblowing in Nigeria, 1 year of the Corruption Anonymous project, which seeks to place the whistleblower policy on the front burner of national discourse, chronicles the implementation of the initiative.
Whistleblowing as an instrument for tackling corruption can only survive where the safety of the whistleblower is guaranteed. We hope this report will afford us all the opportunity to reflect on the strengths, challenges and opportunities whistleblowing offers in our efforts to tame corruption in Nigeria.
Many of us may not pick what is going on and appreciate these changes that are coming in. Since the introduction of this whistleblowing, things have changed, invisible things. Now, I'm telling you, people, the looters, those who have taken something that doesn't belong to them, I find it even difficult to keep it at home.
The fight against corruption will have to be institutionalized, will have to remain a standing commitment and program of successive administrations for the fight to make a difference.
With the enthusiasm that met the launch of the whistleblower policy in 2016 on the decrease, participants at this forum are advocating the need for uniformity of purpose in the fight against corruption in Nigeria. Chukunonzo Nwabwese, NTA News.
Nigerian Navy arrests sea robbers over now to Mina in Port Harcourt. For more on this story and other reports. Hello, Mina.
Hello, Ronke. Good afternoon and welcome to Port Harcourt. The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Pathfinder Port Harcourt has tracked down 4 suspected sea robbers and cultists terrorizing the axis of the city. Men of the command apprehended the suspects while on routine surveillance of the waterways. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
The rising concern about the safety of sea travelers, coupled with repeated killings and other criminalities along the waterways, informed the NNS Pathfinders heightened sea patrols. Commander Ike Ukulaku, while parading the 4 suspects before newsmen, said they were arrested at Iwofe waterfront by one of the base patrol teams. A locally made pistol, 4 live cartridges, substance suspected to be cannabis, and tramadol were recovered from them in the course of the interrogation.
4 suspected sea robbers, who are also members of the dreaded Debam court, were arrested at Iwofe waterfront by one of the base patrol elements. The suspects were arrested with 1 locally made pistol and 4 live cartridges.
One of the suspects admitted ownership of the pistol, which he said he bought while in secondary school.
I was put into Debam by a friend of mine. They were pressuring me. That was why I saved the money, 15,000 naira. He was the one that directed me. Me and him went to the place that we purchased it.
The suspects will be handed over to the police for further actions. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
The Akwa Ibom state government is set to incorporate local government workers into the federal government World Bank-assisted community and social development projects. The decision was reached at a meeting on effective implementation of the project in Uyo to ensure that the poorest of the poor are carried along in the scheme of people-oriented programs. Edidong Iba reports.
The Buhari administration, since inception, has made concerted efforts to ensure that the lives of Nigerians are made better through various plans and programs of the federal government. One of such measures is the commitment in reaching out to the World Bank to partner Nigeria under the Community and Social Development Project, CSDP. At a recent workshop organized for relevant stakeholders in the state, Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Economic Development, Idore Yunudo, said the project is targeted at poverty reduction, employment, and wealth creation.
The project development objective of CSDP is to increase access by the poor people to improve social and natural resource infrastructure services in a sustainable manner.
The General Manager, Akwa Ibom State Community and Social Development Project, Ishmael Akpan, called on local government areas to formulate mechanisms for the effective integration of the people-oriented micro-projects in the state.
The agency is thankful to the World Bank for collaborating with Akwa Ibom State government to reduce poverty and progress.
News.
The bicycle as a means of transportation no doubt still serves a lot of Nigerians, particularly the rural dwellers and farmers. NTA News crew came across a bicycle repairer at Igurutali community in Ikwere local government area of the state, who through the skills has made fortune for himself. Osinachi Silvanus Abraham reports.
Most rural farmers and dwellers still depend on bicycle as a means of transportation to neighboring communities, as well as transfer farm produce to homes and markets. In cities, bicycles are mostly used for sports or pleasure, whichever bicycle attracts wide for his wife and 3 children.
About 11 rooms outside there. I
advised you while schooling at the same time.
Don't be thinking of all this oil company, sorry for using this word. With this kind of thing, you can make it. Maybe you are in a haste to make the money may disappoint you.
He said he will continue to be grateful to his father, who advised him to go into the skill several years ago. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Silvanus Abraham, NTA News.
And that's a bit from Port Harcourt. Ronke, it's back to you for the rest of Nationwide.
Thank you, Mina. To showcase the abundant potential and hidden treasures of the national parks to potential tourists and generate revenue, a 9-member editorial board of the Park magazine has been inaugurated. Conservator General National Park Service Ibrahim Goni, while inaugurating the board, enjoined them to be professional in their reportage by putting national interests above every gain.
As part of our role in promoting transparency in the conduct of government business, you should endeavor to use your publication to educate the public on the importance of executive orders on the ease of doing business and the federal government policy of economic recovery and growth plan.
Students are interested in this magazine, researchers are interested in this magazine. So many people have benefited from this magazine, and a lot more will also benefit from this magazine.
The Park magazine became moribund since 2011, and its revival is of great benefit to students and researchers on wildlife and forestry. Another break beckons. Stay with us.
It's game on at North Taste Quest 5. Get your kitchen weapons ready. Get your skills warmed up, because in this game, the seasoned warrior wins. Get ready for North Taste Quest 5, the special anniversary season, showing on DSTV Africa Magic Family and GoTV Africa Magic on Sundays at 7 p.m. and 6 p.m. on NTA and AIT. North Taste Quest, Battle of Flavors.
HQ Barbers is an institution.
Your children are letting people leave without paying. Without idiots. I've been a good man after all these years.
A good loyal husband. To me or to the shop.
I want someone who will not just be my husband, but also be my friend.
But we're not friends.
What do you mean we're not friends?
Customer service. Since when did sick people become customers? What's happening here?
Benny Mama.
And stop slouching. It's for lazy people. Then what should I have done? Slap the man and taking the money from him?
Yes!
Yes!
You are under arrest for assaulting a police officer.
Pass me the remote. No.
True that, and there can be one.
Bon appetit, everybody.
Yes. Oh, Lord.
Everybody wait.
People you don't make me to follow your lane. I like how you do. I want to make you follow me play. Your bumper shining in the light, shining. Give me a light, flashy. You make me go want to go naughty. I take you around the world, my baby, oh. Hey, baby, yeah. Ah, baby, you pull over. Baby, you pull over. Reverse, baby, you pull over. Show me your particulars as I pull over. Yeah, baby, you pull over. You can't like it as I pull over. Yeah, baby, you pull over. Jamie don't like to dance. Me, I like to dance. Jamie don't like to shake. Me, I like to shake. Oh, you want to the center. You know Jamie's there for your matter. All I tell all the friends I guess. This kid I got my life also. Come on back.
You're still watching Nationwide. We apologize for that little hitch. Ondo State government unveils new health insurance logo. Ogo is standing by in Benin with this story and other reports. Hello, Ogo. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, Ronke. Thanks for joining us.
4 persons are found dead in a fatal accident along the Benin-Auchi Highway by Irekpe, Edo State. Kevin Ewunayi reports that the victims were burnt beyond recognition after the trucks involved in the accident burst into flames.
The accident occurred at about 7 o'clock in the evening when 2 trucks conveying petroleum products coming from opposite direction of the highway collided as one lost control after running into a pothole. The 2 trucks trapped a Toyota saloon car in the process. The trucks and the car got engulfed in flames and burnt 4 occupants before help could get to them, while 2 survived.
The accident that happened yesterday was so fatal and porous. So we are appealing for the federal government to please come to our aid, that they should come and dualize this road and make it at least double day.
This is the road that has been dualized since when we are small. Nothing has been done. This accident normally happens every day.
The FROSC unit commander in Irekpe, Sam Enyong, described the accident as unfortunate, saying that the highway has been cordoned off at Irekpe, while traffic has been diverted through the town, with his men on ground controlling traffic to ensure smooth movement through the community market.
We packed 4 burnt bodies. 2 are still in the hospital recovering. So for now, I can say 4 are burnt. So those are I can say they are dead. 4.
The remains of the victims have been evacuated from the scene. In Irekpe, Kelvin Ewunayi, NTA News.
A 13-member caretaker committee has come on stream to oversee the affairs of the Butchers Union, Edo State. This is sequel to the suspension of the union's executive by the state government over a lingering crisis which exposes members' dubious ways of selling donkey meat to consumers in place of cattle. Goodluck Enaini completes the report.
Inaugurating the caretaker committee, Governor Pasaki said the decision became necessary in order to save the people of the state from the attendant risk. Governor Pasaki disclosed that his interest in the matter is not only from the standpoint of health and safety, but also from security. He told the audience that his administration is making a lot of investments in ensuring that livestock business thrives in the state, and decried the situation where all types of animals such as donkeys are being slaughtered.
While people think that they're fighting amongst themselves here for control, there's a huge and bigger security dimension which the leadership of the Butcher Association seem to be encouraging and supporting.
The governor read out the terms of reference to include maintenance of high standard of health and sanitation in all the abattoirs and government-approved slaughterhouse, and to ensure that healthy animals are slaughtered for public consumption. He charged the members of the committee to live up to expectation. Chairman of the caretaker committee, Mr. Paul Odige, thanked the governor for the opportunity to serve and promised to justify the confidence reposed in them. In Benin, Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
And now talking religion, the President General League of Imams and Afars Southwest Edo and Delta States, Alhaji Jamiu Kaulere, wants Nigerian pilgrims to this year's Hajj to be good ambassadors and pray for peace and development of the country. This is his message while speaking of the spiritual benefits of Hajj. Kola Adebobuyi has that report.
Hajj, an annual Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca, the holy city, is mandatory religious duty for Muslims and should be carried out at least once in a lifetime by all adult Muslims who are physically and financially capable of undertaking the journey. Nigerian pilgrims on Hajj will join procession of hundreds of thousands of people who converge on Mecca and perform series of spiritual rituals. President General, League of Imams and Afars, Southwest, Edo, and Delta States, Alhaji Jamiu Kaulere, described the holy journey as an important obligation. Unlike in the past, when hundreds of intending pilgrims from Ekiti State embark on holy journey to Mecca, the reverse is the case this year, as only 70 Muslims could be airlifted for the Hajj from the state. The Commissioner for Information attributed the low participation of intended pilgrims to paucity of funds from government to mobilize Muslims for the journey.
Well, as for the support, government continues to give them support in the area of procurement of travel documents, in the area of providing auxiliary services.
The intended pilgrims have however been admonished to be good ambassadors of the state at the Holy Land and focus on their spiritual engagements to improve their faith and entrench a better society. In Ado Ekiti, Kola Adebobuyi, NTA News.
The last lap of the bulletin will be coming from Abuja. Ronke, over to you.
Thank you, Ogochukwuka. A high-powered delegation from Nigeria, led by the Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Khadija Abba Ibrahim, is in the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe to discuss bilateral relations between the two countries. Gufan Shaji reports that during the visit, issue of security, policies for the Joint Development Zone, funding strategies of the Commission, and diversification will be addressed. The Minister of State Foreign Affairs, alongside other ministers on arrival, were received by the country's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Communities, Obino Botewo. Let's catch up with some trending stories on the globe with Obiageli Ugoke.
Hello and welcome. Ebola vaccinations has commenced in Democratic Republic of Congo's latest outbreak of the deadly virus that has already claimed 9 lives. World Health Organization said that Ebola screening for travelers at DR Congo-Rwanda border is already in high gear. The latest outbreak declared August 1st in Magina village in Mbalako Health Zone is Congo's 10th outbreak since the virus was identified in 1976. 17 new cases has been confirmed, 27 probable cases and 47 suspected ones. And South Sudan President Salva Kiir has given a blanket amnesty to rebels, including his rival Riek Machar. The announcement came days after the government and rebel groups signed power-sharing deal in the Sudanese capital, Khartoum. South Sudan's warring parties have also signed security arrangement deals as part of an ongoing peace process, mediated and brokered by the regional bloc. Away from that, 3 Palestinians are reported to have been killed in a series of Israel airstrikes on the Gaza Strip after militants there fired dozens of rockets into southern Israel. Gaza Health Ministry officials said pregnant women and daughter aged 1 were killed in the Jafarawi area. A Hamas militant also died in the north. Israel media said several civilians were hurt by rocket fire in the Sderot and other towns near the Gaza border. The violence came as the UN and Egypt attempted to broker a long-term ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, the militant Islamist group that dominates Gaza. And that's it from this end. I'm Obiageli Ugoke. Do stay tuned for the rest of the news.
And now time to talk sports. Anti-graft agencies partner sports ministry on maiden national anti-corruption marathon as Nigeria plans huge hosting of 2018 Africa Hockey Cup for club champions in December. Kenema Budike brings us more on Sports Update.
Minister of Youth and Sports Development Solomon Dalung has unveiled the maiden national anti-corruption marathon slated for Abuja November 3 this year, with competitors expected to start from the National Stadium and finish at the Eagle Square.
ICPC and EFCC, your coming here has elected us much, but when you return to your offices, please look at your files. There are cases of corruption in sports that are hanging in your offices. Bring them to the front burner and let us see action.
The Nigeria Hockey Federation says all hands are on deck to ensure a hitch-free hosting of this year's